This is Newsbreak26 in Southwest New Brunswick. I'm Vicki Hogarth. Here's what's happening in our part of the world. Setting day came early this year in Southwest New Brunswick, 2 days ahead of the traditional start. Fishers in Lobster Fishing Area 36, which runs from St. Martin's to St. Stephen and includes Deer Island and Campobello, along with those in neighboring LFA 38 around Graham and Ann, were on the wharves well before daylight on Sunday to prepare for one of the most important and dangerous days of the year.
Like I said, it's normally the second Tuesday is the official start day, but of course weather is an enormous concern for safety with the boats piled high, as well as extra crew on board and trying to handle all of those extra traps. And so DFO, the Department of Fisheries and Oceans, actually allows, traditionally at least for the last few years, us to have a weather window of 48 hours before the season.
Calm seas Sunday morning made the go-ahead clear. Michonna Collier and her Fundy North colleagues were stationed at wharves across the region before sunrise on November 9th. At Back Bay, families lined the wharf with blessings, prayers, and care packages of homemade baked goods for the crews. Just after 7 a.m., fleets pushed off with boats stacked high, heading for everything from close-to-shore singles to the deep trawl grounds out towards the wolves.
It's incredibly important for our fishermen, not just because everyone is leaving on the same day to head out to fishing grounds, but also because the beginning of the fishing season in November tends to be when there's the best catch. So everyone's wanting to go out and claim their ground. They have their boats stacked high with traps, and they go out and make sure that they get their traps in the water as soon as possible and start bringing in lobster.
Ask anyone who lives or works by the water. Setting day is more than a start date. It sets the year's course, economically, culturally, and spiritually, for the coastal communities of this region. For many harvesters, the first few weeks of the season can determine most of their annual income. It's a day of intense preparation, risk, and tradition.
I know for some of our fishermen, they make most of their money for the entire year in a couple of weeks in November. So if something goes wrong, if the weather isn't cooperating, if there's any issues, it can truly impact their entire year worth of income. And each fisherman is an independent small business. And so these are small businesses that are trying to make sure that they're economically viable year after year.
Collier said that the blessings of the fleet held last week at churches and community halls throughout the region remain deeply meaningful.
Again, it's very traditional, even for folks who aren't as religious. I think it brings a lot of comfort, and certainly for those who are, because these traditional aspects of coming together as a community and circling around the fishermen and making sure that they celebrate them and support them in churches as well as over the radio at the beginning of opening day, I think is incredibly special.
Finally, Charlotte County marked Remembrance Day on Tuesday with services in towns big and small. CHCO-TV live broadcasts the ceremony from the All Saints Anglican Church and the Cenotaph in St. Andrews. One especially moving moment came when 100-year-old veteran Herb McGee, a tail gunner in Bomber Command during the Second World War who flew more than 40 missions over France and Germany, laid a wreath in memory of those who served. Many of the fallen were his friends, some never made it home. That's all the news I have for you. For more stories and online exclusives, visit CHCO and the Courier online at CHCO.TV.
A news and public affairs production of CHCO-TV, New Brunswick's only source for independent community television.